Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, when it comes to our ordinary life, this body and mind connection, body and mind communication is very important. So, through meditation, what we does, we allow our body and mind to be together. In day-to-day life, mostly what happening out of our bodily, verbally, and mentally action, we get disconnection from us. So sometimes we see when that people advertise about the cell phones or the internet, that the fastest connection and always connected. So these kind of things that when we look that, it kind of like giving us kind of comfort. So this connection is we like to connect with the outside world, but at the same time that all connection sometimes disconnect that inside us. So in the very beginning, if you are disconnected, so whatever you get connected, that it's not going to be successful. So that's why this meditation is very important in day-to-day life. That doesn't mean everybody need to meditate. It's up to their own life. It is your choice. So you have to decide what you have to do. But when you start to practice meditation, mainly you start to get connect. That connection is more different than the believing about I. Because through the meditation, you recognize the very entire system of this body and mind. And that way your understanding and your awareness become more wider, sharp and clear, rather than becoming narrow, dark, limited. So when we look at the world, this I is always holding a very big space. In English language, all over the world, most of the people every day they use the I than any other word. I. And sometimes even we don't know from where this come. And sometimes we doesn't know what is the real meaning of it. And sometimes when someone knock the door, and if you ask who is there, and sometimes people say I. And then then when you ask who is I, and then sometimes they say the name. So in our mind, we have this I, and we use it for most of the things, and we use it for everything. And when you use the I, what is happening? When you use the I, when you become comfortable with the I, you become very limited. That is what happened. You become very limited, you become very narrow, you become very dark, and you become very tough. That doesn't mean I is bad. No, that is the nature. So, but when you get out of the I and you start to see this everything in bigger picture. So how you can, it's just by praying, by thinking, visualizing, you cannot get out of this I concept because it is so strong. So then when we look at the Buddha's life, that the character, how he developed his life through the sansaric journey, that eons by eons that he went through all the difficulties. There are few qualities that he carried within himself, and that will help for you if you develop within yourself to get out of this I concept, and then from there you can get into a very sharp and clear and bigger, wider, deep understanding regarding your own existence. So that understanding will help you to transform your life to a better place, and it will help you to develop your awareness and the wisdom, and through that way your transformation can happen to a liberation. So this that one thing is that you have to develop in every day the meaning of life, why you live. So you are personally, you have to ask that question yourself, what is the purpose of your living? And then sometimes there is a conversation, do you need a purpose? If you don't have a purpose, what will happen? So you will live like this, and then you will die, you will come back, you will die, you come back, you live, you die. So you go like that way. That will happen, nothing else. And and sometimes on the way in this journey, that when this the becoming happen, and sometimes we get into a difficult places, sometimes we get into a very comfortable places, but the journey will happen. So the purpose make you discipline. So the purpose will give you a task, and then purpose will keep you in a place that your life make it more sharp and clear. So as then as if you look for the purpose in day-to-day life, so keep the in according to you, and look what is the most important thing that you need to experience before you die. And when it comes to that, and understanding the truth, or experience the enlightenment, attaining to nibbana before you die, not after you die. Before you die, there is a way. Before you die, you can attain to enlightenment. But most of people think this is something you gain after you die. No, during Buddha's time, there are a lot of enlightened masters. So then there is a possibility within yourself. Why you want to be the same like this every day? What is the purpose of this? And after this, what will happen? You're going to repeat this. So then yourself, that lack of meaning or the purpose, the clear purpose of life, and sometimes keep us in a very dark, unhappy, sad, worry place. So we all look for happiness, satisfaction, comfort, but mostly this everything come when we have the lack of meaning regarding the purpose. Otherwise the happiness is it's not about the material. There are a lot of material things around this material world, and sometimes we find there are a lot of unhappy people. So but when you have the purpose, so that purpose will take you through this all the up and down in this conventional life. So then remember, when it come to meditation, the same. When you sit for meditation in the beginning, You have to have the purpose, and that with that purpose you have to sit. And then, so in a certain level, you get out of the purpose while you practicing meditation. But to get into that point, you have to have a purpose. Otherwise, how during daytime? See how many things that available for you to do. Even during this time, there are a lot of people. They have a choice. They go to something else. But you sit here like this. Why? Because there is something in you. You look for something. So you have to tap into it, and you have to keep it, and you have to protect it. Why? Because tomorrow maybe something else comes. So then you have to remember that if you are not clear with the purpose sometimes, and somebody else going to put a purpose on you. So if you don't have a purpose, mostly what will happen? Somebody else will use your life. How far? Till you die. Till to end of the all the energy and the blood, the knowledge, strength, everything other people will use if you don't use it. That's what happening. Sometimes people believe the living is as like that. So the slavery, and in the ancient time, it was a kind of like a big topic. But still, there are people. The mentally, they are slaves. They cannot get out of that mindset. They always they always try to work according to others. But in this conventional life, there are you cannot blame to anybody. Why? Because everybody, like, if you start to work for others, you start to do help for the neighbors every day and go and help little bit, then what will happen? And little by little, little by little, they start to keep you and own you. So then always remember, you have the husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters, but your purpose should be more higher than that. You have workplace, your purpose should be higher than that. Your occupation, and so whatever the things in day-to-day life that you do, your purpose should be higher than that. So that is your responsibility. If you have that, you're never going to feel lonely, worry, unhappy, depression, anxiety, fear. You're not going to get that. But when the I become bigger than your purpose, and then what will happen? That everything going to be around you. So then when the purpose comes, the very next thing, that purpose should be sharp with belonging. For what? Regarding what? So that is more important. Sometimes we have purpose, but when it come to belonging, and that is not that much valuable. But when it come to the Buddha's character, see, as Prince Siddhartha, he saw these four signs, that sick person, old person, dead person, and the someone who look for truth. And then from that day, what he determined, from himself, he want to get out of this all suffering and the illusion, and at the same time, through the samsaric journey, he belonging to the entire humanity, to give this truth. and find out the truth and becoming a Buddha, not just only for him, for the entire humanity. See, that will make him more sharp and more clear and more stronger. So then yourself, when it comes to your purpose and look how it belonging to you and others. And when you fulfill your purpose, what will happen to other people? What will happen to your family? What will happen to your children? What will happen to your grandchildren? And what will happen to your future generations? Just think a little bit, and then you become more responsible. That responsibility put a value on you. That value make you more sharp and stronger, sharp and stronger. It's not going to make you weak. So remember, when the purpose put value on you with the belonging, it never going to make you weak. You become a strong person. That's how the conventional, even the character build. So the spiritually, it become more sharp. And the third quality is transcendental. Transcendental means that your purpose, your belonging should link beyond the material. That is transcendental. Transcendental means beyond material, beyond this conventional. So then that is where the spirituality comes. So the spirituality nowadays, this spirituality become more separate from religion. Why? Because the religion become more tough and manipulating and hierarchy. So many. So now people, especially the young generation, that become more spiritual. They like the spirituality. They love the spirituality, but they little by little separate from religions. So this transcendental, when you have the purpose and when you have the belonging, the purpose, higher purpose, you want to become a better, and the belonging regarding the humanity and with the other people, the entire world, the society, the nature, and then that when you go beyond this material, that's mean you more deeply get connected to the your deeper spirit, and you try to uplift that your wisdom and the awareness and in day-to-day life, and that will make you more grounded person to conventional life, and at the same time deeply no one going to get harm out of you, because that when we look at the world, we don't have any kind of that the problem with the people economically, socially, politically. We don't have a real problem like that way. We have a problem with the spirituality, because if you look at the the characters behind this, all the problems or the difficulties situations, and we see it's a lack of spirituality. That's mean that they more caught up with the material, and they become very limited to this material existence. They never understand, or they don't go beyond these material things, and they never understand the the deeper, the wisdom that exists within ourselves, nothing to do with this material world. But when you don't when you don't look for that wisdom, and when you become more comfortable with the material world, you think this everything is this material world. No, look at the end of the day, your life. That doesn't matter how much the material that you have. End of the day, when you go to sleep, you just close your eyes and yourself, and you become more comfortable with you, and from where that comfort arises. And if you start to think about and become happy about the all the material things that what you have, you cannot sleep. You will wake up and go and see you lock the door, you wake up and go and see you lock the cupboard, again wake up, you go and see you lock the car, again wake up, you go and see, start to do like that things. You cannot get sleep. But every day, that everywhere you see in your life, there is a moment come when you are completely detached from this material. There is something in you awake. That is transcendental moment that you have to tap. So at least try 1 minute every day. Let this everything to disconnect from you, and completely that resonate with the deeply only by with the mind and body, not any material. Don't allow any material to interfere in any form or any thoughts. Try it every day. Try it 1 minute, 2 minutes, whenever you have time, just a little bit. Whenever you have a moment, wherever you are, just get into that, and you will see, you will find out the most beautiful, comfortable moment you can experience. And then you see, more than this whole outside world, depending from this outside, there is something you can achieve, there is something deeper inside you. And the fourth one is that how you can work this journey and how you can make it happen, and then how you really experience it within yourself. Because this all, if it is become just the knowledge without experience, you don't have a story. So when you say your own story to yourself, what you tell about you, you no need to tell to others. How about yourself? When you talk to yourself, when you tell your own story, what you have to tell, and look at the Buddha's character and look at all the other enlightened masters. So we become very limited to that, and see. And when you look at everything, you will see all the Tripitaka is kind of like a stories. All the most of the Tripitakas or the Jataka stories and all the Dhammapada. That's it. Look, this what is that? Everything is kind of like with the story. So then, how about that? Then what is the story behind you? Real story, not the story made up. No, the real story that that you know about yourself. And how about as parents? Now, someday your children come and have a real, you know, conversation with you regarding life. I used to be with most of the old high priest in my life. When I have an opportunity, I always ask them, Venerable Sir, what do you think about life? What is this life? What you know about the life? And I understood how their stories help for me. So Then forget about that uh, other people. So how about your own family? How about your husband, your wife? You, when you get old, you come together, and forget about enlightenment, forget about the nirvana, forget about absorptions. Just do you have any kind of story regarding your own life, with the authenticity, with the clarity, to share yourself with others? And how about children when they come to you one day as a gift? Is there anything that you can share? Not about books, forget about books. It's nothing to do with books, articles, websites. No, it's nothing to do with. It's about the real raw level of organic life. So think about it. If you don't have anything from today, start to have a story yourself deeply, resonate with the real life. And how you can build up that? And so, because nowadays when it come to life, that the people don't know about the stories, people becoming very lack, and especially parents don't know any stories to share with children. They don't have anything, they just give the YouTube and put cartoons and give it to them. And people always with something, because that mostly we don't have a story ourselves, and we depending from others. So but yourself, remember, they have the purpose. That purpose keep belonging to the humanity, environment, other living beings, and then from there, and develop and go beyond this material things, and try to uplift your life beyond the material world. And there is a deeply your body and mind connection, and try to get into that. And when you complete these three things, that you will see, and as a result of this, there is a story going to come. That story is your liberation. That story going to be your nibbana. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vaham hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.